Okay, so I'd like to say that I think everyone did a really good job on their discussions or their presentations today. Everyone clearly did their research and expressed different beliefs of all the people they studied. And I think everyone understood the basis of each of the political parties and expressed it clearly to the class. We all could understand what they were talking about. So good job, everyone. I do have some questions for particular groups. We have not seen the feminism PowerPoint yet, but I've looked it over, and I feel like different feminists also have different opinions upon other things besides feminism, and I feel like they would fall under other political categories as well. And so what kind of other categories would those particular feminists fall under? Would one be a classical liberal or a conservative? Probably not a conservative, but for example, Harriet Taylor Mill married the radical liberal John Mill, whom I had in my group, so I would wonder if she'd be a radical liberal also. For the classical liberals, if they believe people are born innately good, is no most involved of how they adapt and later see their human rights as a classical liberal, and how corruption comes into play with their philosophies. And for conservatives, I would argue that to some degree they could agree with radical liberals and classical liberals in the sense that doing what is best for the majority is always good, because I find that sometimes people do what's best for the majority because it's not as much change, and the conservatives are more conservative. They don't want as much change. They want to keep tradition. In regards to my political stance, I, of course, support the feminism movement as a woman. I think men and women should have equal rights. And I think I'm more liberal in my political opinions in general. So I'd be like a mix of sorts of a classical and a radical liberal. I don't really completely agree with either of them. And for an issue to relate to one of the presentations and their opinions, I think for terrorism and national security, radical and classical liberals would be pro-drone warfare, like we previously talked about, because it overall causes less deaths and is a greater good for society in that way, which kind of relates back to doing what's best for the majority. And it also keeps our troops safe, which lessens the pain factor that the radical liberals talked about, how pain versus pleasure comes into play with, and I think they would be pro-drone warfare because it causes less pain to the American troops. And that's all. Thanks.